This is Nightline and I'm Liyana Hassanel. The headlines. Registration process for Padu system will not be postponed. And at least 103 dead in bomb blasts near Iran General Qasem Soleimani's tomb. Good morning. At least 103 people have been killed by two bomb explosions near the tomb of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani on the 4th anniversary of his assassination by the U.S. State broadcaster Egypt said dozens more people were wounded when the blasts hit a procession near the Saheb Al-Zaman Mosque in the southern city of Kerman. It cited Kerman's deputy governor as saying it was a terrorist attack. Iran's Interior Minister Ahmad Vahidi said the first explosion happened at 3 p.m. local time during an interview with Iran's state news channel IRIB. The second, more deadly blast took place 20 minutes later when other pilgrims came to help the injured. It was not clear who was behind the explosions and there were no immediate claims from any groups. However, Arab separatists, the IS and other Sunni groups have said they have carried out deadly attacks on security forces and Shia shrines in the country in recent years. Soleimani was seen as the most powerful figure in Iran after the supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, before he was killed in U.S. drone strike in neighboring Iraq in 2020. Back at home front, the registration process for the central database hub Padu system will not be postponed. Communications Minister Fahmi Fadzil, who is also the Unity Government spokesman, said this was decided by the Cabinet at its meeting chaired by Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim on Wednesday.
Pada waktu ini kita dapati sistem tersebut berjalan dengan lancar. Isu-isu yang dibangkitkan telah berjaya diselesaikan dalam jangka masa yang sangat singkat dan pemantauan tentang aspek keselamatan terus dilakukan. Jadi tidak timbul isu untuk menangguhkan.
Fahmi told this to reporters at a media conference after the cabinet meeting in Putrajaya. He added that the Economy Minister, Rafizi Ramli, and the Padu team have always given serious attention to technical and security issues, especially concerning personal data. And the Cabinet was also told that cybersecurity is a priority in the Padu system. He also said that even before Padu's launch, Cybersecurity Malaysia, CSM, had been helping the Economy Ministry and Department of Statistics Malaysia, DOSM, to identify vulnerabilities in the system. Fahmi also mentioned that CSM would continue to hold meetings with DOSM and the National Cybersecurity Agency, NACSA, to improve the Padu system constantly. He also advised Malaysians not to worry and that they can sign up with Padu without any apprehension because the issues highlighted are being monitored and addressed. Fahmi was commenting on former Deputy International Trade and Industry Ministry, Ong Kian Ming's call to the government to postpone the Padu registration process until several security flaws have been fixed. The national data platform was launched by Anwar on Tuesday to help the government prevent leakages in the distribution of government aid, as well as ensure efficient delivery of targeted subsidies to deserving recipients. Meanwhile, Rafizi stressed that his ministry has taken swift action to address a number of issues regarding the Padu system. He said the issue where an individual's identification card number can be used to override and change their passwords was resolved on Tuesday night. In a posting on X, Rafizi said that weaknesses in handling the authentication process were not found during the Security Posture Assessment (SPA) stage and had been immediately addressed by the Padu team. On the issue of bugs and vulnerabilities in the system, Rafizi stated that updating information can be done immediately after logging in without going through the electronic Know Your Customer process or EKYC process. He also said EKYC is only implemented once the information has been updated and the individual wants to verify and authenticate the profile submission. Any information filled out without undergoing EKYC verification will not be integrated into Padu, and only data submitted by users who have successfully completed the user identification verification process is considered valid. In addition, Rafizi said the same phone number can be used up to 5 times to make it easier for household members or parents who do not have a phone to register a Padu account. Users may also refer to the Frequently Asked Questions FAQ page on the Padu portal to learn more about the highlighted issues.
The construction sector, an important driver of change for Malaysia. What is the significance of productivity within this sector? What measures can be taken to improve efficiency, effectiveness and overall performance within construction projects? Money Matters this week with Datuk Sri Dr. Michael Yam, champion of construction and built environment productivity nexus, this Saturday at 5 p.m. on TV3.
The Agriculture and Food Security Ministry will intensify its efforts and expand paddy cultivation under the Ala Sekinchan Large-Scale Smart Paddy Field or SMART SBB program, including in Sabah and Sarawak this year. In a Facebook post, its Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Sabu said large-scale nationwide paddy cultivation would help meet the local rice demand, especially for states affected by climate change. The implementation of the Ala Sekinchan Smart SBB program focuses on the farming model and practices adopted by farmers in Sekinchan, Selangor. In addition to increasing farmers' income through higher paddy yields, the program also aims to help the country become less dependent on rice imports within 2 years. The ongoing Ala Sekinchan Smart SBB program involves nearly 10,000 farmers nationwide and covers an area of over 26,000 hectares. The unity government is focusing on economic aspects throughout 2024 to boost the country's growth and encourage domestic and foreign investors to invest in Malaysia. Communications Minister Fahmi Fadzil said that the directive was conveyed by Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim during the first cabinet meeting of the year held on Wednesday. According to Fahmi, who is also the unity government spokesman, the Prime Minister also emphasized the need to streamline the functions played by government-linked investment companies, GLICs.
Perdana Menteri juga telah memberi beberapa pandangan mengenai fungsi yang akan dimainkan oleh GLIC, Government-Linked Investment Companies. Dan ini penting bukan hanya untuk merancakkan pertumbuhan ekonomi dalam negara, tapi ada sedikit penyelarasan yang perlu dilakukan kerana kita semua sedia maklum banyak daripada syarikat-syarikat GLIC ini mempunyai pelaburan di luar negara.
Other matters highlighted during the cabinet meeting include facilitating and expediting the approval process, especially for incoming investments involving hundreds of billions of ringgit. In another development, Fahmi said the government has agreed to organize Jelajah Madani in every state, following its inaugural program held at the Bukit Jalil National Stadium in December. He also said the first state to host this tour will be Selangor, followed by Negeri Sembilan, while the dates for the program this year are expected to be announced next week. A worrying trend involving non-communicable diseases is emerging in Malaysia. Statistics show that it is a critical issue that may strain the nation's healthcare system. But how bad is it? FMT's Danish Rajareza and Linal Tam take a closer look at the numbers.
A silent epidemic is claiming lives prematurely in Malaysia, and it has been for a number of years now. Non-communicable diseases, or NCDs for short, have cast a shadow over the well-being of Malaysians and the resilience of our healthcare system. In 2022, nearly a quarter of the country's premature deaths were attributed to NCDs. That year itself, more than 90,000 deaths were recorded among adults aged between 30 and 69, below the national average life expectancy of approximately 75. A closer look at pre-mortality data from 2015 to 2022 revealed that heart and cerebrovascular diseases, along with pneumonia, have been the leading culprits behind these premature deaths. Even during the height of the pandemic, these NCDs continued to be major causes of premature death, second only to COVID-19. At some point in 2015 and 2016, young adults were more likely to die from NCDs than from road accidents. Although minimal differences were observed in terms of gender, heart disease emerged as the biggest killer for males. But why have NCDs continued to affect adults in their prime in the last 7 years? Dr. Moy Fung Ming of University Malaya's Faculty of Medicine says it is all down to lifestyle choices.
Cerebrovascular disease and ischemic heart disease is lifestyle-related diseases. So with all these risk factors, lifestyle-related risk factors, it will contribute to the higher risk for ischemic heart disease.
And if the trend in NCD prevalence does not improve, Moy says the healthcare system could face a substantial burden that would in turn affect the national economy.
When you have more patients, right, the healthcare system, I mean, the government would need to provide more facilities to treat the additional patients.
But Moy says it's not enough to just have good healthcare facilities and services. People must take responsibility for their health.
I mean, if they're obese, they should reduce weight and so on, be physically active. If they don't do that, so they would have all the risk factors, and which this will predispose to more of our people getting these diseases.
Moy also says other ministries, such as the Local Government Development Ministry, can also play a role in preventing NCDs. The numbers are stark, and the impact on individuals and the nation's healthcare system cannot be overstated. It is crucial that people take charge of their health and for various ministries to work together to ensure healthier lifestyles. It may not be easy, but efforts must be made to stop NCDs from claiming more lives. Danish Raja Reza and Lin Altam, FMT for Nightline.
4 stabbed on train at Tokyo Station. News from the foreign front when we return.
Jangan pandang ringan dan mudah. Anggap batuk awak ini serius. Woods ubat batuk dengan rasa pudina. Memberi sensasi kelegaan di kerongkong. Berkesan melegakan batuk. Woods, ubat batuk yang saya percaya.
Sekejap je nak masuk tahun 2024 kan?
Azam tahun baru macam mana? Ada matlamat baru atau kopi pis je?
Kalau ada luka, jangan makan kicap, petua atau mitos.
My Digital ID. Sejauh mana tahap keselamatan data peribadi kita?
Evolusi batik merentang zaman, jadi kenali identiti batik tempatan.
Cukai jualan 10% untuk barangan import. Pembelian dalam talian bawah RM500. Setuju tak?
Saksikan MHID TV3
dan stream HD melalui aplikasi Tonton.
اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق.
Hayati isi kandungan Al-Quran dalam My Quran Time.
Setiap hari jam 12.30 di TV9 dan saluran Astro 149.
Quran, Salat,
Infak.
Hospital doctors in England on Wednesday began their longest consecutive strike in the 7-decade history of Britain's National Health Service, NHS. Junior doctors, those below consultant level, started a 6-day walkout in a major escalation of their long-running pay dispute with the UK government. In a statement, the British Medical Association, BMA, which represents the doctors, urged the government to make a credible pay offer to end the strikes, which threatened to increase the pressure on the health service, where more than 7.7 million on waiting lists seek treatment. The strike is due to end at 7 a.m. local time next Tuesday. The industrial action comes at one of the busiest times of the year for the state-funded NHS, when it faces increased pressure from winter respiratory illnesses. Another series of earthquakes in Japan's Noto Peninsula on Wednesday morning has inflicted more damage following the devastating quake that killed more than 50 people. The latest tremors caused cracks on road surfaces and even saw some sections cave in. The regional government announced that 73 people had been confirmed dead and more than 300 injured, 20 of them in serious conditions. The toll was expected to climb as many victims were trapped under collapsed structures. In the meantime, many cities were without running water and around 32,800 households were left without power in the Ishikawa prefecture. The Japan Meteorological Agency has also issued a heavy rain warning in the region, advising people to be on alert for landslides. Also in Japan, at least 4 people are believed to have been stabbed on a train stopping at Akihabara Station in Tokyo on Wednesday. According to public broadcaster NHK, a report was made that a woman was wielding a knife on a train at Akihabara Station. The woman has been taken into custody. The victims in the meantime have been taken to a hospital. The Metropolitan Police Department is investigating the cause of the incident. The death toll from Israel's cruelty against Palestine continues to climb, as the Zionist regime said it was deepening its violence in Khan Yunis. According to the Gaza Health Ministry, at least 128 people had been killed and 261 injured in the past 24 hours, bringing the total death toll from regime's action in the Palestinian enclave to 22,313. The news of the steadily mounting human cost came as the regime said it was engaged in fierce battles with Hamas in the southern city of Khan Yunis. The attacks came as a high-level Egyptian source stressed that the path of negotiations to resolve the crisis in Gaza is irreplaceable. In the meantime, South Africa will appear before the Hague-based International Court of Justice, ICJ, next week to present its case against Israel's alleged genocide in Gaza. Tech secures semi-final spot for Poland. Sports after this breather.
Tanyalah Ustaz minggu ini. Isnin, hijrah berkekalan.
Kalau kita tak boleh bersungguh-sungguh, kita takkan dapat apa yang kita hijrahkan ataupun kita kehendak.
Rabu, tafsir dan taradum surah Sabah ayat 1 hingga 6. Kamis, Fiqh Al-Ta'ayush, tata cara kehidupan bernegara dan masyarakat majmuk. Tanyalah Ustaz biar tahu jangan keliru di TV3 dan TV9. Stream juga melalui Tuntun.
Iqra bismi rabbikal ladzi khalaq.
Hayati isi kandungan Al-Quran dalam My Quran Time.
setiap hari jam 12 tengah hari di TV9 dan saluran Astro 149.
Quran, Salat,
Infak.
Sekejap je nak masuk tahun 2024 kan?
Azam tahun baru macam mana? Ada matlamat baru atau copy paste je?
Kalau ada luka, jangan makan kicap, petua atau mitos.
My Digital ID. Sejauh mana tahap keselamatan data peribadi kita?
Evolusi batik merentang zaman, jadi kenali identiti batik tempatan.
Cukai jualan 10% untuk barangan import pembelian dalam talian bawah RM500. Setuju tak?
Saksikan MHID TV3
dan stream HD melalui aplikasi Tonton.
We're back with sports. Tennis, the United Cup. World number 1 Iga Świątek propelled Team Poland into the semi-finals for the second straight year by defeating China's Zheng Qinwen to claim a 3-0 win. Hubert Hurkacz gave Poland the lead as he eased past Zhang Zhizhen 6-3, 6-4 in the opening men's singles match. Świątek, a 4-time Grand Slam champion, then entered the court. She had to fight back from 2-love down in the first set to beat Zhang 6-2, 6-3 in 1 hour and 34 minutes to give Poland a comfortable lead. Katarzyna Peter and Jan Zieliński made it a perfect day for Poland, coming in to win the mixed doubles 6-3, 5-7, 10-7 over Yu Xiaodi and Fa Jingsun. Poland will now travel to Sydney to play in the semi-finals, where they will be joined by Serbia or Australia. Still on tennis, the Brisbane International. Frenchman Hugo Humbert defeated Alex Michelsen in straight sets to book his spot in the next round. 25-year-old Humbert faced no trouble as he clinched a 6-4, 6-4 victory over Michelsen in their first round clash. The fourth seed will now take on Jordan Thompson of Australia. In the women's category, world number 2 Aryna Sabalenka ramped up preparations for her Australian Open title defence with a 6-3, 6-love win over Italy's Lucia Bronzetti in the second round. Sabalenka needed just 58 minutes to pocket her first win of the season. The Belarusian top seed will next face China's Zhu Lin. Earlier, 16th seed Karolina Pliskova bounced back from losing the first set 3-6 to grind down Japanese star Naomi Osaka 7-6, 6-4 in the second round, halting Osaka's Holjik WTA Tour comeback event. The Czech will next play Jelena Ostapenko, who booked herself into the second round after a 6-1, 6-4 win over Camila Giorgi. When Nightline returns, man who assaulted RTD officers slapped with jail term. Don't go away.
Tanyalah Ustaz minggu ini. Isnin, hijrah berkekalan.
Kalau kita tak boleh bersungguh-sungguh, kita takkan dapat apa yang kita hijrahkan ataupun kita kehendak.
Rabu, tafsir dan taradum surah Sabah ayat 1 hingga 6. Kamis, Fiqh Al-Ta'ayush, tata cara kehidupan bernegara dan masyarakat majmuk. Tanyalah Ustaz biar tahu jangan keliru di TV3 dan TV9. Stream juga melalui Tonton.
Sekejap je nak masuk tahun 2024 kan?
Azam tahun baru macam mana? Ada matlamat baru atau copy paste je?
Kalau ada luka, jangan makan kicap, petua atau mitos.
My Digital ID. Sejauh mana tahap keselamatan data peribadi kita?
Evolusi batik merentang zaman, jadi kenali identiti batik tempatan.
Cukai jualan 10% untuk barangan import pembelian dalam talian bawah RM500. Setuju tak?
Saksikan MHID TV3
dan stream HD melalui aplikasi Tonton.
Kita bertemu dalam My Quran Time.
114 surah, 6,236 ayat, 30 juzu. Sesiapa yang membaca satu huruf, maka baginya 10 kali ganda kebaikan. Jadi, sudahkah anda membaca Al-Quran hari ini? My #Quran Time 2.0 setiap hari 12.30 hari di TV9, juga di saluran Astro 149.
Welcome back. The man who assaulted a road transport department enforcement officer in a video that went viral since Tuesday had been slapped with 1-day jail term and a 4,000 ringgit fine in November last year. Kedah RTD Director Aman Shah Hashim said that investigations into the video found that the incident happened near Jalan Taman Tasik Darul Aman in Jitra on November 22nd. The 1-minute and 24-second video showed a Nissan Vinette driver refusing to stop when flagged down by an RTD officer for inspection. The driver eventually stopped his vehicle on Jalan Tasik Darul Aman in Jitra and proceeded to attack the RTD officer on duty using offensive language and provocation. Aman Shah explained that at the time of the incident, the officer was conducting enforcement patrols and identified a suspicious vehicle. Initial checks showed that the lorry committed 3 violations, including an expired motor vehicle license, had no insurance coverage, and an expired Puspakom inspection certificate. The vehicle was then directed to stop, but the driver refused to cooperate. Following the incident, a police report was filed by the assaulted RTD officer. He added that the individual, a 24-year-old sugarcane beverage vendor, has already been detained by the police and has already been charged in the Jitra Magistrates Court under Section 353 of the Penal Code on November 27th. The individual has served his sentence after the court imposed a 1-day jail term from the conviction date and a fine of 4,000 ringgit. 6 individuals have been questioned by the police regarding a fraka at a food stall at the Pandamaran Sports Complex in Klang last Sunday. South Klang District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Chia Hung Fong said they received a report about the fight from a 28-year-old woman at 3:32 a.m. on Monday. Checks found the complainant, together with 3 family members, opened several stalls to conduct business in the Pandamaran Sports Complex area. Due to a blocked path between 2 of the stalls, the complainant's mother scolded her brother. The incident led to an argument that dragged on between the family members before it was resolved by a nearby trader. Police have taken statements from 6 individuals involved in the fight and found that no one was injured. Chia explained that as the fight took place between family members, all those involved did not want to continue with the police investigation and have reconciled amicably. A video recording of the fight had earlier gone viral on social media. Police have arrested an Indonesian maid to assist an investigation into the discovery of a decomposing body of a newborn baby buried in a shallow grave behind a house in Taman Mutiara, Perlis on December 30th. The 28-year-old single mother was arrested a day after the gruesome finding by a teacher who followed a foul stench behind his house. Kangar District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner U. Sharifuddin Muhammad Yusuf said the 44-year-old teacher discovered the decomposing body at about 10:30 a.m. on Saturday upon checking on a foul stench behind his house. The teacher immediately rushed to Kangar Police Station and lodged a report. Checks showed that the spot where the body was found is a vacant and unfenced land. The baby's umbilical cord was still attached. Following the discovery, police have picked up the Indonesian woman working as a domestic helper with a family in Mutiara Jaya. Investigations revealed that the woman had arrived in this country in May last year for work, but was not aware that she was already pregnant. She had given birth to the baby on December 20th in the bathroom of the house in Jalan Mutiara Jaya, before burying him in the backyard of a neighbor's house at about 6:30 a.m. a day later. A background check showed that the woman has 2 children in her hometown, placed under the care of her mother-in-law. Police have obtained a 2-day remand extension against the woman for further investigation for concealing a birth. Nightline draws to a close this time around. Let's take a look as hundreds of dog owners and their pets took to the streets of Madrid for the traditional San Perestre walk to raise awareness about animal abandonment. With that, I'm Liyana Hassanel. Thank you for tuning in and be well, Malaysia.